The triumph of the mind. Over the sword. I don't wear armor. I don't carry weapons. An emperor needs only his imagination. History has always been shaped by two dominant forces, power and intellect. The sword symbolizes brute strength, violence, and coercion, while the mind represents wisdom, strategy, and the ability to inspire. At first glance, the sword often seems superior because it can impose immediate control through fear and destruction. Yet, as time unfolds, it is the mind that endures, outlasting armies and empires. The greatest changes in human civilization have been the products of ideas, not weapons. Empires that thrived on military dominance eventually crumbled because the strength of the sword could not sustain loyalty, unity, or progress. The Roman Empire expanded through conquest, but its downfall came not from the strength of other swords alone, but from corruption, weak governance, and the inability to adapt intellectually to changing times came decline. Ideas of governance, law, and civic order outlasted the empire's military glory. This proves that force may win battles, but it cannot secure permanence without the guidance of thought. The mind holds power in subtler but more effective ways. Philosophy, science, and education have transformed societies far more deeply than wars ever could. Socrates, Plato, and Aristotle never led armies, yet their ideas continue to shape global thought 2 millennia later. Similarly, great scientists like Newton and Einstein never wielded weapons of war, but their discoveries changed humanity's understanding of the universe. Knowledge has the capacity to evolve, expand, and influence across generations. The sword also has limitations because it depends on fear, and fear is rarely sustainable. People eventually resist or rebel against oppressive rule. Leaders like Mahatma Gandhi, who embraced nonviolence and the power of moral conviction, demonstrated how mental courage could overcome even the mightiest empires. Gandhi's mind and principles of truth defeated the British Empire's sword. In modern times, nations that rely solely on military power often find themselves drained economically and politically. Wars demand resources, but ideas generate them. Prosperity today is won by the pen, the mind, and innovation, not by the sword. Empires built on force often collapse when ideas fail to be sustained. History remembers the noise of conquest, but not all its consequences. Take Rome. Its legions conquered vast lands, yet its governance, institutions, and legal ideas outlived the sword. Socrates, Plato, and Aristotle never led armies, but their concepts of ethics, politics, and reason shaped civilizations for centuries. Newton's laws and Einstein's relativity altered how humans understand the cosmos. Their influence ripples through technology, industry, and daily life. Philosophy and education spread ideas that changed politics and culture. Knowledge created institutions that survived empires. Gandhi's example was not raw power but moral clarity and relentless nonviolent strategy. These inspired loyalty and mass mobilization without weapons. The sword wins battles, the mind builds institutions that last. Wars deplete coffers and infrastructure. Innovation and ideas generate sustainable growth. Japan and South Korea rebuilt not with greater swords but with intellect, discipline, and creativity. The United States' long-term influence rests less on weapons and more on innovation, culture, and governance. Ideas travel faster and farther than armies ever could. This clash is not only geopolitical, it touches personal life. Violence may settle disputes temporarily, but wisdom resolves them permanently. A student who applies discipline and knowledge will achieve more lasting success than one who forces his way through. Families and institutions thrive on dialogue and shared values. In modern times, nations that rely solely on military power often find themselves drained economically and politically. By contrast, ideas and innovation generate prosperity. Japan and South Korea rebuilt through intellect, discipline, and creativity. This underscores that prosperity today is won by the pen and the mind, not by the sword. The clash between the sword and the mind is also evident in personal life. Wisdom resolves disputes permanently. Force only offers temporary outcomes. Shared values, dialogue, and vision help families and communities thrive more than authority enforced by fear. The victories of the sword are loud but temporary. The triumphs of the mind are quiet but eternal. History reveres thinkers like Buddha, Confucius, and Einstein even more deeply than conquerors. Ideas transcend borders and centuries. Ultimately, while the sword can command obedience for a time, only the mind can win hearts. Only the mind can create legacies and guide humanity forward. History remembers conquerors, but it reveres thinkers and their ideas over centuries. In the long run, ideas outlast weapons. The sword is always beaten by the mind. Choose persuasion over force. Choose thought over fear. If history teaches us anything, it is that ideas shape the future more surely than swords ever could. Learn, question, and build. Subscribe for more. Thank you for watching. Like, share, and subscribe for more inspiring history stories.